date is July 13th, 2024. Coming with a breaking message, breaking report, whatever you want to call it. This is important news for the American. This is important news for you, citizen of the United States. I had taken a nap around 5, woke up right at 6 to watch the rally in Pennsylvania, as I've watched all the rallies thus far for this presidential campaign, the 2024 election. Both sides, Biden, Trump, great liars, great magicians, listening to every word, listening to how the message may change, how it may stay the same, what narrative they are pushing. Been seeing a lot of theatrics here in the last few weeks with the Biden situation, trying to basically get him to step down, and there's been a lot of gymnastics going on in this whole play or script or skit or whatever they're playing out before your very eyes. But I was able to watch live as it happened in what I would call a WWF script. Nothing more, nothing less. In which Donald Trump was supposedly or there was an attempt to take Donald Trump supposedly out of the way today. And that's just how quick it happens, folks. That's how quick things happen. If you're a street preacher, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If we're in the military and you served overseas, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Things happen very quickly when they happen. And the question is, are you going to be able to pay attention to the details? Are you going to be able to respond? Are you going to be able to keep a clear head as things are going on? Eight shots were fired. 3 initial shots in which Trump goes for his ear, then falls down to the ground. There's a pause, and then 4 shots, which I believe is return fire from the agents. And then a pause, and then a final shot in which I've counted a total of 8. I don't know what the news report is going to say. That's basically what I heard as I watched it several times. Trump then gets up, and he is bleeding from his ear, the initial place where he grabbed in those first shots fired. You can hear the audio of him saying, "Let me get my shoes," as they are trying to get him out of the kill zone, in which he then tells his agents to stop so he can repeatedly pump his fist in the air as he says the words "fight" 4 times, pumping his fist in the air, a raised fist, a symbol of resistance, before they finally get him out of the kill zone. Now, I can tell you right now that normally how things are done, when there is an ambush or engagement like that, you are to get out of the kill zone. The Secret Service did not do that. They allowed him to stay in the kill zone and do his little theatrics. Now, they finally get him out, and that is the end of the incident, of the event. And there is going to be a lot of news and circulation of all kinds of things that are going to be jammed down your throat in the next coming days, coming months, coming weeks. The terror alert system, the terror campaign is going to be off and out the roof. They are really going to amp things up. Things were already amped up. Now they're really going to get amped up. But my thoughts on this are what I said earlier. This is nothing more, nothing less than the WWE at work here. The WWF, whatever you want to call it. No different than when one of the wrestlers takes a razor and swipes it across his forehead, and now he's bleeding after, he gets hit with a chair or something. And they're going to produce bodies, people. There's going to be bodies produced. The question will be whether it's a body of foreign stature or a body of domestic stature, whatever it may be. But you can rest assured of this. Rest assured of it. Their campaign on foreign and domestic threat within the United States is going to amp up. And that's the whole goal. As you know, that part of their campaign and their spiel is to push this narrative of we've got to get these people out of our country who do not belong there. The question is, how are they going to do it? How's he going to go about doing that? I've already talked about before in prior videos how he's going to use the Insurrection Act. They've been warning about that. And by goodness, my goodness, if they produce a body of Southern American descent of some kind, South American descent of some kind, then you'll have your new boogeyman, which they've already trying to portray that. Donald Trump's campaign is already trying to portray that to be the boogeyman. The illegals. And so it's a double-edged sword. If they produce a civilian body, a sovereign citizen of the United States, then they will be the target. But the whole idea is they're coming for you and your freedom. And we cannot forget this as a people. That's the whole goal of the New World Order, is to strip you of your freedom, is to herd you into the lane that they want you to get what they want ultimately. A socialist, one world, totalitarian, socialist government. Don't you think we should have been paying? I tried to tell you people to be paying attention. I hope you've been paying attention. 3 weeks ago, I talked about and pointed out the whole high terror alert that they're trying to shove down your throat of a 9/11 type event coming. And by the way, I don't believe this is the event that they're really going to spark some things off with. I believe this is a little precursor, a little taste of what's coming in the following days, weeks, months. A little taste of what's coming, because things are going to amp up from here. They were already amping up, but they're really going to amp up now. And so I have a few things that, one of which, a couple I've already mentioned, but I will mention them again. A few things written down here of what you can expect to come from this. The first thing I have here is heightened security, as if security wasn't already heightened for these events. But mass amounts of people will equal mass casualties if they're looking to carry out some type of diabolical conspiracy. The second thing I have written down here is an amped up terror campaign. And how they're going to do that is how they do it all the time. They're going to do it through the media. They are going to amp it up like you cannot believe. To keep you in a constant state of fear. To keep you paralyzed, which most people are already paralyzed, and after this day, they're going to be very paralyzed, but also they're going to be very enraged because they're looking to point the finger at people. That's how this works. The media, the people, the MAGA crowd, the Biden crowd, they're all looking to point fingers at people. But the interesting thing is, the fingers never get pointed at the ones actually perpetrating the very things that they're upset and angry about. Yes, they should be pointing their finger to Washington, D.C. They should be pointing their fingers at the New World Order. They should be pointing their fingers at the great liars and great magicians on stage, fooling them. And some of you people that listen to this, you're going to lose me on all this, and you're going to say, I can't deal with this guy. He's lost his mind. And I'll just turn around and say, you've lost your mind if you keep buying these games that they're playing. Because that's exactly what they're doing. They are herding the cattle. And they are setting you up for the fall. And the terror campaign and the fear campaign is going to go off the chain. The next thing I have written here, the foreign and domestic threat. It's not just going to be about, especially if they give you a body of somebody who is a sovereign citizen of the United States. So they can play both sides. They can get after both sides. Because they have a game of roundup that eventually they want to play. These people are very smart. They're very calculated. They're very crafty. And they're lying in wait to deceive you people out there, the listener. And you can expect, the next thing I have here to expect, or the result of which will come forth because of this day, more events to follow. Calculated events. And they'll have their boogeyman already in place, as they always do with this stuff. We're talking about a government that is highly funded. We're talking about the Central Intelligence Agency. Very capable of pushing propaganda. Very capable of plotting conspiracy. Very capable of deceiving the people. We've got to wake up. You'll probably start hearing cries of gun control. As you always do with events like this. Because that's what they're always looking to do. Is disarm the people. And maybe that'll be a very heightened push for them on both sides now. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that. I think the things I've already mentioned will be the main focus. But it's definitely something that you should not leave out. It's something that's definitely going to be heightened and pushed. Just, I don't believe it'll be heightened as push quite as much as the things I've already mentioned here. The very last thing, and the most important thing that I have mentioned here, is that Donald Trump, if he already did not have his lowercase g God status amongst conservatives, Republicans, conservative Christians, and all these other things, is if he did not already have his lowercase g God status amongst the people, you can rest assured he's got it now. I can hear the chants already. You see? They can shoot at him, they can try to assassinate him, and they can't capitalize on it because surely God's hand is with him. Because he stands for such righteousness. I can see it now. Great liars are great magicians, people. And Donald Trump is a magician. He is a liar. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Make the lie big. Keep it simple. Keep repeating it, and the people will eventually believe it. Oh, he's going to make America great again. I can assure you of that. But he is going to be elevated to God's status And and his people that he has bewitched are going to be more loyal than they ever have been. We are living in very dangerous times. We are living in very deceptive times. And if you're not being vigilant, if you're not being sober, if you're not paying attention, you're going to get played by these people. You're going to get played by what's coming. Because if you're falling for this act up on screen today, I can assure you that you're going to fall for whatever else they got coming down the line. These people stage events, but they also carry out real events where they sacrifice many to accomplish, as they call, the ends fit the means. This is just a little taste of what you have coming for you in the very, very near future, people. Now, I saw some things as I was getting ready to make this video here from ABC, a couple quotes from the supposed liberal Democratic Party making statements about Trump. Here, I wanted to pull up for you so I can read them verbatim. One is from Barack Obama. As I talked about him in the Great Liars and Great Magicians video, one of the greatest liars and magicians who ever took the seat of office. And quote, "There is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy." And first and foremost, we are not a democracy, we are a republic. Democracy is one step away from socialism. But nonetheless, there is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt, and use this moment, recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. I have a quote here from Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. And quote, "I've been briefed on the shooting of Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he is safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it." And so the reason I'm reading these quotes is because, well, all that is very innocent and it's apologetic and it's very heartfelt and it's very nice. If we look at the full scope of the matter and go back and remember these people are all working together against you, the American citizen, then this is a perfect opportunity to push this unity. This New World Order mentality of one unity. and not for the greater good, but for the absolute rule of the people. Not by the people, not for the people, but for them, the just us system. I'm sounding the alarm on this one, people. I don't buy what I saw today in real time. I don't buy it for 1 second. And so I am telling you to be on guard, be on high alert, and be ready for more gymnastics to take place. This is your reality. The writing's on the wall. America's wanting, it's weighing in the balances. And this is going to cause a huge stir and a huge campaign and war on for your mind. As we have the Republican National Convention coming up this week, which I would encourage you to be paying attention to it. Not because there may be another event take place, but pay attention to what is being said. Pay attention to what the narrative that they are pushing. Because before this happened today, he was talking about the border situation that has been his main focus in every single gathering that he has spoken at thus far, rally. That is his main push, is getting the illegals out. But there's going to be a problem there, because getting the illegals out when there's so many undocumented in will take extreme measures to make that happen. That's not an easy task to do. And so that's why this whole thing with the Insurrection Act is huge to be paying attention to. Because he said verbatim he would do it. And I believe he means what he says. But we've got to make it to November to find out, don't we? And just like as he was leaving office last time, there was an event that took place. COVID came and shut everything down. And they shut the whole country down. So if you want to keep denying and brushing off and discrediting the things that I'm talking about in this video, and you want to keep believing lies, and you want to keep believing in your system, your country, that's fine. You have that right. But I think, to be quite honest, to look past all the things that I'm bringing out and have been bringing out, I think would be very foolish on your part. Because we can talk about, we got the guns. I got my right to bear arms. I've got my weapons. But they can shut you down with something that's not even visible and have you at their mercy. How will you stop whatever they have next for you? That's the question that I have to leave you with tonight. How will you stop what they have next for you? You could not stop the invisible, the unseen plague, the unseen pestilence that came upon this nation and shut everything down and had people in absolute obedience to their government, muzzling their face with nothing but fear. All for a little virus. I don't deny people died. I don't deny people got very ill. I'm not, unsympathetic towards that. I am sympathetic towards that. I'm simply stating that shut an entire nation down and had an entire nation at bay. What in your mind makes you think whatever they're going to do next isn't going to go and play into their hand exactly how they want it? You're watching your country slip through your fingers. You're seeing the changes taking place, and you're going to see more changes taking place in the very near future here. I wish you well. And most importantly, that through these things, that your trust is in Jesus Christ. That your faith is in Christ. That your focus is Christ. Because if that's not your focus, if that's not where your faith is towards, if that's not what your allegiance is to, then your allegiance will be to the New World Order. This nation needs to repent from its sin. This nation needs to turn from its wicked way. This nation is weighing in the balances. And like I said, so is your soul. So is your soul. Your soul is weighing into balances. So do not be deceived by what is coming. Do not be deceived by these people. And until next time, may the peace of God rule in your hearts through Jesus Christ our Lord.